shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
New this morning, we're keeping an eye on a system in the tropics. We'll show you where it is and the odds of it becoming tropical. And then we'll show you when 90-degree heat returns here at home, coming up in just a bit.
Plus, school lunch prices. The Wake County School Board is thinking about raising school lunch prices. We'll tell you why they are discussing that.
And the vaping debate. State lawmakers are considering a bill that would raise the age of sale for tobacco and vaping products. We'll break down this issue. A lot to tell you about here on this Tuesday morning. We're glad you're up early with us at 4:30. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. It's great to have you along here. Another nice, refreshing start. We had a lovely day yesterday. We can repeat it today. Chris Michael's in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now. We're going to take a look at tropics first off.
Exactly, yeah. So we've been tracking this for the past 12 to 15 hours now, and still just a 10% chance of a system becoming tropical off our coastline. Now, regardless of whether or not this gets a name, it looks like there's the increasing chance for some rain even this far inland as we get toward Thursday. So getting outdoor chores done today and tomorrow, you're good to go. But by Thursday, it looks like rain is becoming a little more likely. A separate system by Saturday brings in some scattered showers and storms. Out the door this morning, it feels fantastic. Temperatures in the low to mid 50s, cool and refreshing. Fuquay and Holly Springs 52, Raleigh and Knightdale at 54 degrees. And then hour by hour, you see just how the temperatures and really almost the seasons change just within one day. By midday, we're already at 80 degrees and high temperatures today in the mid 80s. The humidity stays nice and low for the time being, and high pressure camped out overhead keeps us mostly dry through Wednesday. We'll show you futurecasts with that system that tries to pop up off the coastline coming up in just a few minutes.
Leaders with Wake County schools are considering raising meal prices for the third year in a row. WRAL's Laura Levine is live to break down this discussion. And Laura, what more can you tell us about why the school board is considering this?
Renee, good morning. The price of pretty much everything is going up, and that includes school meal prices. So we know that this is yet another year in Wake County Public Schools where they're considering this. For elementary school, the price for lunch is now $3.50, and for middle and high school, we're looking at $3.75. So district officials, they aren't proposing a specific cost increase today, but they are warning of a possible revenue shortfall. So the district's Child Nutrition Services Department has for years struggled to break even and projected a potential $3 million shortfall in revenue last year. Officials have blamed ongoing financial challenges on rising supply costs, rising wages, insufficient federal reimbursements, and declining rates of families actually buying meals at school.
The school district has struggled in recent years with having enough revenues to offset the costs in their school nutrition department. It's worth remembering that these departments are kind of operated independently, a little bit more like restaurants. You know, they can't run a deficit.
But I only made one. And so the work session currently has 9 different scenarios they're going to present today of how many adjustments they can make to those prices. Of course, we're going to continue to follow this story throughout the day. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Cary.
The first ever cell phone policy for the Wake County School Board is up for a final vote tonight. It would require phones to be silenced and put away, and smartwatches to be disconnected from smartphones. There would be some exceptions for students with certain health needs and emergencies and a few other scenarios. It would go into effect next school year. You can find out more about all that is in this proposed policy at the education section of WRAL.com. Covering Wake County, your tax bill will be going up. County leaders approved a new property tax increase. It's part of the county's latest $2 billion budget. The budget approved yesterday provides more than $740 million to Wake County Public Schools. The increase was paid for by a tax increase plus cuts to 12 new EMS positions and cutting planned funding for a new affordable housing program in half. Now, 2 other tax increases are included, one to pay for a voter-approved library bond, and another increase will help pay for new fire stations in Wake County.
State lawmakers are considering a bill that would raise the age of sale for tobacco and vape products. This is part of an effort to get North Carolina in compliance with federal law. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us now live to explain. Kelsey, what can you tell us about this push?
Yes, Renee, today we'll learn more about how state lawmakers are working to keep your teens away from vaping. They'll meet here in the legislative building in a few hours to talk about changes to vaping laws. This morning, legislators are discussing two bills that are designed to help curb teen vaping. On average, 3 students vape in any given high school classroom in our state. That's according to the state health department. North Carolina lawmakers are working to change the legal age for tobacco products to 21. This would make the state law compliant to a federal law that's already on the books. Right now, the legal age to buy tobacco products in North Carolina is only 18. North Carolina is one of 7 states that hasn't passed a law to raise the age. State lawmakers also want to implement a tobacco retail sales permit. That would be used to help keep track of who's selling vapes. So lawmakers will host a news conference later this morning about these two bills, and it's scheduled to start this morning at 10. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
The WRAL documentary team has covered teen vaping in Wake County. WRAL went undercover to see if anyone would ID a young person trying to buy a vape. Watch Gen V Teen Vaping in North Carolina on WRAL.com. It's in the documentary section.
This afternoon, North Carolina lawmakers plan to debate repealing the state's concealed carry requirements. Most Republican-led states have already gotten rid of concealed carry, leaving North Carolina an outlier. Under the proposal up for debate today, almost anyone could legally carry a concealed gun as long as they're 18 or older. No training or background checks would be required anymore. Some law enforcement leaders oppose this idea. So do most Democratic politicians. But GOP leaders in the state legislature see it as a priority.
The herbal substance kratom could become harder to get under a proposal in a key House committee today. Some say the psychoactive substance can help people fight opioid addiction. Others say the drug can be harmful or even deadly. Kratom is available in many gas stations and convenience stores in our state. The proposal would not make it an illegal substance, but it would limit its sale to people 21 and over. It would also require retailers to pay for a license to sell kratom, which would likely make it less attractive to many stores. The proposal would get a vote in the state house later this week.
The town of Zebulon is looking for a new town commissioner. Commissioner Beverly Clark announced her resignation last night after 24 years of service. People in Zebulon recently started a petition that calls on half of the Board of Commissioners to resign. Clark says she signed that petition herself. In an interview with WRAL, Clark says she is unhappy with how the board is working together and believes it is time for new leadership.
It's the way we're working, the way we're handling motions or putting things on hold and not getting through a lot.
And Clark is not the first to step down in recent months. Earlier this year, both the town manager and assistant town manager handed in their resignations just days apart.
The Person County Board of Commissioners voted to fill a recently vacated seat. Members appointed Donald Long to fill the remainder of Tracy Ellickson's term. Last month, WRAL reported Ellickson resigned after charges of domestic violence and communicating threats involving his wife. Donald Long will be sworn in on Friday.
Durham County Commissioners are holding one of their final budget work sessions this morning at 9 o'clock. Last month, County Manager Claudia Hager put forth a $1.03 billion budget, which included an increase in the county tax rate, a pay raise for county employees, as well as a $10 million increase in the budget for county schools. The school budget has been met with some pushback as the district asked for a nearly $16 million increase. The county manager is expected to deliver the final recommended budget at next week's meeting.
The Carolina Hurricanes is hosting its end-of-season press conference today after being eliminated from the playoffs last week. Head coach Rod Brendamore and general manager Eric Tulsky will address the media at Lenovo Center. The Canes made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Final this year before being eliminated by the Florida Panthers in Game 5 of that series.
Coming up next, long wait times. WRAL gets the first sit-down interview with the new DMV Commissioner, Paul Tyne, how he plans to fix the persistent problems.
And traveling with guns, an uptick in firearms discovered at RDU checkpoints, how it could affect your next flight.
Summer-like temperatures are on the way. This is a live look in Fayetteville. Good morning to you. Meteorologist Chris Michaels is back after the break with the latest timing of the forecast.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
4:43, happy Tuesday to you. Starting out with a clear sky overhead, so the tower lit in blue outside of Western Boulevard here at our studios. Starting out on the cool side, Roxborough, you're at 46. Fayetteville, you're at 56. Rocky Mount, Holly Springs, you're playing middleman at 51 so far this morning. Might feel good in a light sweatshirt or a windbreaker, something like that, at least early on. Definitely not going to need it this afternoon. High temperatures in the mid-80s, plenty of sunshine in the Triangle and in the Sandhills. A little breeze out of the southwest is helping to give our temperatures a little bit of a nudge. That same breeze brings a little bit of that smoky haze back into the mix today. The air quality moderate, it is good by tomorrow. So we'll show you when that haze moves out and when some rain moves back in, coming up with Futurecast in less than 5 minutes.
First on WRAL, it's going to get better. That's the message from the newly appointed DMV Commissioner Paul Tyne. This comes as the department continues to be plagued by long wait times, staffing shortages, and virtually no appointments available. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur was the first reporter to have a sit-down interview with the new commissioner and has his plan to fix it.
Change has arrived at the DMV.
Next year is going to be different if you went this year.
In the months since Paul Tyne became DMV commissioner, the department has updated its website, given raises to employees to boost morale, and purchased bottled water to hand out to thirsty residents waiting in line. Plus, replaced old, slow-to-respond scanners.
But think of it this way. If we can reduce that time from, say, a minute and a half to about 20 seconds. Multiply that by all the documents of every person in front of every examiner all day. That's a significant throughput change.
Long-term, Tyne plans to finalize plans to hire a vendor to overhaul aging technology that the DMV runs on, streamline the line queuing system, and redistribute future appointments to later in the day to allow for more morning walk-ins.
When I talk to you in a year's time from now, how will the DMV be different from a customer experience standpoint?
It's going to be more predictable. The lines should be lower, but if they're not, they're faster.
Now, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the DMV, go to ncdmv.gov and hit help.
TSA says its agents are finding more guns at RDU security checkpoints. 34 guns were found at the airport so far this year. That is on track with last year's numbers, but the difference is there are 150,000 fewer travelers so far this year.
Anytime TSA detects a firearm, it can slow down the line or actually close the line down. So you're not only affecting yourself and slowing yourself down, you're slowing down the hundreds to thousands of people who are behind you.
You are allowed to travel with a gun, but there are rules. They must be unloaded and locked in a hard-sided case inside a checked bag. You also have to tell your airline that you have a gun at the check-in counter.
More information about a serious recall involving tomatoes sold in North Carolina that could be contaminated with salmonella. The FDA upgraded the ongoing recall for H&C Farms tomatoes, distributed by Williams Farm Repack. The FDA's Class 1 warning means people could get very sick or die if they eat them. The tomatoes were distributed to 28 stores in Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. If you have these tomatoes, throw them out immediately.
National Hurricane Center is watching an area east of Florida for possible tropical development, the first of the 2025 season here. Meanwhile, storms move through parts of Florida right now, dumping large hail, heavy rain. This was yesterday. In Tampa, cell phone video captured the hail and high winds there, and the gusts clocked at more than 60 miles per hour at one point. Several flood advisories and flash flood warnings were issued for parts of Miami-Dade and Broward counties. Waves of moderate to heavy rainfall are expected to continue through Wednesday. So that was just last night in Florida, and June, I guess we can expect some of that type of weather.
Well, and we'll be getting that rain later this week. But for now, we'll enjoy these rain-free days and also these eerie sunrises out there with the hazy conditions.
Yeah, been a common theme, right? That system has a 10% chance of turning tropical. We'll get to that here in just a second. But yeah, shout out to Susan Jones in Clinton for a great shot yesterday. And you see some of that fog just above the crops there. Our sunrise and sunset still fairly vibrant today. Wednesday, the smoke and the haze mainly moving west. But by Thursday, the clouds and the rain returning with that system that comes in from Florida. National Hurricane Center has a 10% chance of this becoming tropical and getting a name. Rain and rip currents likely along the coast. Very limited window of time in which it spends over Atlantic waters, and there's some dry air from Saharan dust that limit it from becoming a named storm. Regardless of that, I have bumped up our rain chances for Thursday. Even Wednesday night could see a few stray light showers, especially in our southern counties. But really from late morning onward Thursday, we stand the chance of scattered showers and storms with that system that's kind of hugging the coast. So again, at this point in the game, it really doesn't matter if it gets a name. It's still going to give us some rain, and it's going to bring some rip current concerns Thursday along the coast. Out the door this morning, though, feels amazing out there. Nice and refreshing. When the dew point is in the 40s, it means there's less moisture in the air, so it feels more comfortable, and that's something we'll track throughout the rest of the morning. We go from 55 at 6 o'clock to 80 at noon. So temperatures are going to rise very quickly today. Our highs making it into the middle 80s. So we'll tack on a few degrees today as compared to yesterday, and then we'll do the same heading into tomorrow with highs upper 80s. Clouds then increasing tomorrow. Stray shower chance tomorrow night. Right now, Thursday, have it at a 50% chance, but if current trends continue, we may have to bump that up. Friday, we're in between storm systems, a high of 90 with a lower storm chance. Then by Saturday, 93 with more scattered storms. That time of year where we start to get hot, humid with the chance of storms, and that definitely pertains to the upcoming weekend.
That it does. Chris, thanks. Coming up at 5, the search continues as the FBI is offering a reward for information. They try to find the person responsible for a mass shooting in Catawba County. We'll explain where that investigation stands.
And too much tax in the next hour. 5 on your side looks into how much the state charges for vehicle tax after a complaint that cars are being overvalued. It is 4:53 on your Tuesday morning as we take a live look at Goldsboro. It is 54 degrees out there right now, but we are going to get up into the mid-80s today, sunny and rain-free.
4:54 right now, and here's an old 80s hit that fans are just never going to give up.
Brace yourself to be rickrolled in today's Hollywood Minute. Here's Douglas Hyde.
Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up is now in rare company, having just exceeded 1 billion streams on Spotify. The song was a big hit in 1987 and got a huge boost decades later, of course, thanks to Rickrolling, an internet prank that tricks people into watching the music video.
My God, what a melody.
A new teaser trailer is providing a sneak peek at Downton Abbey, the grand finale. It marks the end of the road for the franchise, which began as a hit TV series in 2010. Downton Abbey, the grand finale, arrives in theaters in September. Looks like the twin suns may have finally set on Mark Hamill ever playing Luke Skywalker again. The 73-year-old actor tells comicbook.com that while he appreciates his long run as Luke, it's time for Star Wars to look to the future and focus on new characters. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
Listen to Luke. New data shows a particular diet could help reduce the risk of dementia. It's called the MIND diet, which combines a Mediterranean diet with the DASH diet, which typically lowers blood pressure. The MIND diet was specifically designed for brain health and includes leafy green vegetables, olive oil, whole grains, and lots of berries. The long-term study showed that decreased risk of Alzheimer's and dementia in middle-aged and older participants.
Spending time in the sun is a great way to boost your mood and get some vitamin D, but we all know the painful side of overdoing it and ending up with sunburn. When it comes to sunburn, dermatologists say you want to avoid irritating it even more. So don't touch the area as much as possible. Leave it alone. Leave any blisters or peeling skin alone. To treat mild sunburn, experts suggest taking cool showers, using a gentle moisturizer, and staying well hydrated to help the skin recover. You can also use aloe vera and an anti-itch cream for some relief. If your symptoms worsen or don't improve, dermatologist Jennifer Lucas says it's important to seek medical help.
Not every sunburn is something you want to take care of at home. So if you get to the point where you are having fevers, you're throwing up, you're, lightheaded, you're having, chills cold on your skin, you're showing signs of infection, these may mean that you've really overdone it. You could be dehydrated, you could have other things going on, and those are times when you would need to seek some medical attention.
Above all, doctors say it is best to just prevent sunburn from happening in the first place. Use a lot of sunscreen, wearing SPF clothing, and seeking shade during the midday hours can help as well. Coming up next at 5, school lunch prices. The Wake County School Board is preparing to discuss potentially increasing the cost of meals. We'll explain exactly why they're considering this.
And towing oversight. State lawmakers plan to discuss new rules for towing companies. We'll explain what's on the table.
And tax increases. Wake County commissioners have approved a new budget that includes a higher property tax rate. We'll break down some of the numbers for you ahead at 5.